I really welcome all of you, and I am very pleased to see all of you in the branches which we have started with. Many new branches will be added, I think, in the years to come, and this will be really a vibrant undergraduate campus, which will of course go to postgrad, the doctoral studies and postdoctoral studies, and that is the different forms. So wonderful. I remember on this occasion when the in conversation began, it rightly began with the story of our founder, Mr. P.P. Chhabria. Some of you might not have seen him, perhaps, or will see him, this one. And this in conversation, it was a wonderful thing, I think last year, when he addressed everybody. And he told his story, the amazing story of his life course. On every occasion we remember him because he founded this institute. And his biography, which is available in the library and which will be available in the library, that there is nothing like self-made man. A self-made man is writing a biography that there is nothing like, because he is identified as a self-made man, began with almost like scratch, coming from Pakistan, struggling, and then coming here and creating this huge thing like Phenolics Industries and a group of companies. You see that kind of thing. His life is really very, very inspiring, and he told that story. So this, carrying the same theme, I would like to, on this morning, really, to tell the story of my life, really. The same way, as I begin, of course, my life is a different trajectory, which everybody's life is a different trajectory. But what is interesting from your perspective, engineering perspective, students' perspective will be that I was born at a time where the electronics really started. I often mention that. It was a time when transistor was getting really invented at the Bell Labs. And the beginning of that invention marks the beginning of a discipline called electronics. There was no electronics discipline before that. Electronics was there, vacuum tube and electronics was definitely there. But truly, in the IEEE framework, really, they celebrate electronics with the invention of transistor in 1947, and even a little earlier than that, this one, which all of them got Nobel Prize. That marks the beginning, and no one thought, even at the Bell Labs, no one thought that this invention would change not only the shape of electronics, not only the shape of computers, which were to come. Of course, computers were there earlier also, mechanical and other things, manifestations, embodiments were there, vacuum tube were there. But Alan Turing was there, but still, that marks the beginning of really a discipline called computers and everything else. So, I mark that kind of thing, that I am lucky, I am really very fortunate that I saw that trajectory of electronics from I think of course, I was very young at that time. I did not realize, of course, I came to know transistor only later in the, went to the VNIT now, the VRC at that time. That time I saw the first transistor. But I would say that is the beginning of electronics. So I was born in a small village. My parents were, I think, Professor Keshav Asnare has come to my village. It's a very small village, a tiny village of 300 population then. India consists of, still today, 7 lakh villages. Though many of you may not be coming from villages, but in our time, most people came from villages. Recent census has shown that even today, 65 to 70% of our population still come from villages. Though many of you, I think, not experienced, or perhaps some of you have gone to villages, but never forget that India would remain the nation of its 7 lakh villages, really. So, many of the villages don't have schools, even today, don't have electricity, even today. So of course, my village at that time did not have electricity. I saw electricity coming only in 1961 when I just graduating. And many of the villages are still deprived from in the MP and many parts of, I think, particularly some of the areas, really backward areas in Orissa, in Jharkhand, in Bihar, and many of the areas still don't have electricity. And that's a challenge. We didn't have school. Of course, there was a school in my village, which was in a temple, Ram temple. There were no school buildings. I often talked about there are no chalks, there are no teachers, and there is a single teacher at that time. There is a single teacher. I was surprised when I was traversing to Madhya Pradesh many times, and there was a conference, there was a thing of the teachers of called Ekal Vidyalayas. There is a single school, single teacher schools which are there in many villages, and such villages, I think about 60,000 such Ekal schools are there. More than that, maybe lakh of such schools are there still in the villages. One single teacher teaching all the subjects for all the classes. But I must say that we may complain about many things, but one teacher in my life who came from the same village really had made such a deep impact on me, and he could teach everybody. Simultaneously, he was doing parallel processing, simultaneously doing from the first, second, third, fourth, different subjects, and we were learning very well. I would say that we learned a lot from him, the foundation which he built for us. I'm today surprised many times that when you go to village, people do not know about our own country. You ask them about India, the fourth standard guy, you are about your district, you ask about the state. They know some things, but we did know about the whole country at that time. Not only the state, but also the whole country. But the teachers were so committed, and they made us learn. So this was, I think, the great foundations were built. I must say something about my parents. My parents had opted to be in a village. That is a very interesting thing. I think my father was very educated. People think that I come from a village, so I come from. No, it's not like that. My mother and father and my grandmother and all were very educated. My father studied. In fact, went for studies all the way to Delhi to do his matriculation. Then went to Baroda from the MS University, did the graduation, did his post-graduation from Pune University in the Deccan College, and then of course got involved in the All India Scout organization, and of course then joined the National Freedom Movement. My mother also was a teacher, and she was headmistress at Devas in Madhya Pradesh, the Devas kingdom there, the priestly state, and it's a very good school. And she was also, they got married in one of the Congress camps, one of the Freedom Movement, Gandhiji's camps in Wardha. And they were involved in the thing. My grandmother also was a headmistress. So we did come from very educated in that sense. At that time, it was very rare at that time to have some mother who has done graduation and all those kind of things. But Mahatma Gandhi told my father that when 1947, when I was just born, that you should not engage in the political issues, and many of you should go back to your villages. My father was a very ardent devotee, so devotee or follower of Mahatma Gandhi, and he actually took it literally that you must go back. And he actually went. He worked with Panjabra Deshmukh and all this. He actually went back to village. He didn't know we had land, but didn't know farming at all. So my mother did not know how to cook on that chula and all the time, because there's no electricity, there's nothing available. But they opted for that, and that was, I think, very deep thing. You are by choice. You are making that choice when all the options are before you. He was a principal of a college. So he opted for that, and this of course really contributed to shaping my thinking at that time. So this was the story as far as my education in the primary education concerned. Then I went for my school education, and there were very far and few schools at that time. I remember the statement of Swami Vivekananda. I was just reading, and I would just address him or give a lecture on him. That Swami Vivekananda, when he was traversing to India from before he went to the Chicago, and was traversing across this one after Swami Ramakrishna passed away, Paramahansa passed away, and he saw that there were no schools at that time. Very little schools.